Welcome to Bragging Rights, episode 3. Sponsored by Comscaf. Housed by Tribal. Can I say that? Is that the right word?
Housed, homed.
Yeah.
Nurtured.
Yeah. No, nurtured.
Watered.
Nurtured and watered by Tribal. Don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, hype us on YouTube if you can. Tell a friend. It's all good. We need more people to tune in because more people need to watch this shit. So, yeah.
Craig's missing
Why
a
are you?
Because I missed a microphone last week and my hands were so bored, so
Now you're using you're showing off your wooden spoon.
Yeah, well, that's coming up, innit? So
What's coming up? Oh, your forfeit.
yeah,
There's still people that want to know what your forfeit is.
I'm
What
just
is your
wondering who's
forfeit?
paying for it because I ain't paying for it.
What's your forfeit?
So I have to go to Wigan away for Hull FC. It's
Just over a week's time.
21st of February, day after me 38th, ironically.
And last birthday.
And last, probably, yeah, because I'm going to get stoned and feathered and tarred, or tarred and feathered, whichever
That's
way.
just the Wigan fans.
Yeah, to be fair. But I've got to do it in full Rovers kit, so that's going to be...
Full Rovers?
well,
are you going like proper full kit wanker?
Yeah, why not? Maybe not the socks, because I ain't got any socks, but I've got a pair of red
We
socks.
can get
I'll
you some.
put. Crack on, do your best.
Susan will pay. I'm not paying for anything at that club. I can't wait. How are we all doing? Josh, you look happy as ever.
Yeah, I'm grand, you.
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah. You?
All good?
Yeah. Good. I'm not going to ask how you are.
Yeah.
You're shit. You've just had to talk about going to Wigan away.
Yeah. I'm a broken man.
I'm a broken man. Fucking hell. Oh, right. Straight into it then. We'll start with FC.
Salford.
Salford away,
Salford away. We've got to touch on that glorified friendly that we went to on Friday.
Yeah.
It was good to be back. I saw reading Olav, an article on Olav late last week. It was 20 weeks since our last fixture against Catalan. I was like, bloody hell, that's a long time to be without rugby.
It's only 16 for us.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's still 16, 17 for you guys, though, which is still a long time without a game of rugby. So it was good to be back. Had a good trip, didn't we? Good laugh, a few drinks. It was, yeah. But
My car got invaded by a child. Didn't it?
okay.
I rocked up. I was expecting 4 people, and then one of them brought their kid, and I was like, "Who's that?" Just stood outside of Dean's house, like, "Are you coming?"
Did they not read the small print in the transport contract? No under 18.
None allowed.
Little Archie, good lad.
It was all right, actually.
Good,
Wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good lad.
Did it make you want kids?
No.
Oh, definitely not. Right, come on, get into this. You waffle on and we lose all our time.
What is there to talk about? Salford. No, it's yeah, it is a glorified friendly. Like, this is the thing about this round of the cup. It's great for the Loch Lanes of the world. It probably was quite good for Salford because I know that they weren't expecting as many Hull fans as went. They weren't expecting as many Salford fans as went. So from a money perspective, good for them. But other than that, it shows the Super League clubs nothing. We get nothing out of it, I don't think. And you got less out of yours than we got out of ours, I think. That's not to say I don't support it. I do like the fact that these, especially, again, the Loch Lanes of the world get to play against Super League opposition in Super League grounds and make a bit of cash that'll see them over for a couple of years. But the game itself, even for us, it was scrappy for 20, 30 minutes
until we
maybe.
got to grips with the weather and just like got into a little bit of a rhythm. It was just a bit of a scrappy game. The weather was atrocious. I don't know what it was like over here for your game, but it was bucketing down all game, and it was just, you just knew there was going to be no threat early on. There was going to be no threat coming from the opposing team, and I'm to call it a glorified friendly though is a bit of a shame for the Challenge Cup because it's a competition we are proud of in this country, and to have scorelines like that, I know they had a revamp a couple of years ago, but I'm not sold on this way we're doing it, and it's a shame that we're seeing blowouts, Wigan, you guys, us. Yeah, there was a couple of good games. London, Bradford, Widnes, Leeds apparently was a good game as well. But I'm looking forward to the next round where there's going to be some cracking ties and hopefully a lot closer, more contest. But on the game itself, it was a good run out. Some more minutes in the legs for some of the new guys. It was great to see Liggy on the pitch because I hadn't seen any of the friendly, so it was great to see him back out playing after a torrid time with injury for himself. But Jake Arthur as well, I think, grew into the game as he went along.
Yeah, you passed the comment about half an hour in when it was like coming towards the end of the scrappy phase, and you were like, "He's not done out." And I'm like, "No one's done anything. Like literally, no one's done anything of note." You know, I think the only thing of note was, I mean, for the first sort of 5 minutes, was us charging down a kick and scoring from it.
Yeah, from a guy who I think has got a lot to prove this season, Yusuf Aiden, and it was. If we were going to pick any standouts for me, he was the standout for Hull. He was strong, solid, did everything that he should have and needed to do. And I think a big year for him if he gets his chance in the 17, which I think might be hard to come by if we've got a fully fit squad. He has to take it with both hands this year because he was good in 2024, coming from you guys, did a job for us. But I feel like he let himself down a little bit if we're going to be picky with some players last year. I think he was one of them. And I think if he can hit the ground running this year, will be a great asset for us. So.
He's a really interesting one, Aidan. When we did that cross city swap of players, he almost sort of seemed to get a real raw end of the deal. He came over to a team that had a very torrid season, obviously, but he also really bought into the negative side of the game. It appeared of the club, and the way that you was playing games at the time. You know, that almost lack of effort, almost that kind of lack of sort of structure of what you'd expect from Hull FC and from a club that has been up there in the past and has won things. And we sort of on our side started going better as a club and started saying we've got the better end of the deal here. And we spoke about it at the time and it was mentioned, it was let's hope he kicks on in 2025 and has a much better season. And we did keep a bit of a closer eye on him, didn't we, to see how he got on. And then in 2025 I don't know, it was really hard to describe it, he just felt like he maybe didn't quite kick on.
Yeah, I was
expecting. It's a shame because he is a great player. Or he's got a lot of potential, but it almost looked like him leaving Rovers lost any of that spark that we'd seen.
See, for me, I disagree slightly. I thought he was a bright spark for us in 2024. I thought he tried to raise the standards from the clear standards that you guys had in 2024. He tried to bring that across.
He stood out,
which he wasn't very hard to do.
Perhaps my comments more related to the season you was having.
Okay, yeah.
And he got a raw end of a deal in the fact that what he did do didn't really come through to maybe the rest of the league as much because of how bad it was at Hull.
Because of how well he did in 2024. Maybe we was expecting a little bit more of him, and maybe unfairly. And then you have all these other players coming through, and we saw Zach stand up and Aidan sees the stand-up players that we didn't know how would perform over the course of the season. So they overshadowed him a bit. Maybe he got lost in that, I don't know. But he needs to grab any chance he gets with both hands this year. That's what I was trying to say.
I think for me, he's kind of to watch him play. I kind of look at him and I think you're stuck between, like, physically a second rower and a prop. Especially when you look at the other props that we've got. When fully fit, you've got SA, you've got Knight, you've got Liggy, and Lasoni,
and Harvey Hill again.
And Harvey
fantastic
Hill
on Friday.
And then physically looking at Aiden and thinking,
where do you fit?
Yeah, where do you fit? Like, he needs to, I don't know, either drop a kilo or two and maybe try and stake a claim to second row.
Well, he was loose man on Friday, which I don't see him getting a sniff at if we have Asiata and Bell fit. But with their injury record, he might get a bit more game time there. So that'll be, we'll see about that. But
I think that's just to put that into context as well. I think that's a preference for me as well. When I watch a team, I like a big bopper. You know, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I like you and Dowses and players like that, the real hard workers. But I feel like Aiden just lacks that
punch.
Yeah, he just needs that extra. And
do you think that's the potential game plan? So obviously you mentioned your two players that would probably play at loose man there in Bell and Asiata, I couldn't remember his name then. They're obviously both struggling a bit at the minute, coming back from injury. So by struggling, I don't mean they're struggling to recover, I mean they're struggling for game time because they're still on the...
They've had no game time.
Yeah, they're still recovering. We know that they've had a couple of injuries in their career, so hopefully, touch wood, they're not injury-prone players, but there's a lot of talk around them. You'd think at this stage, even though it is a glorified friendly, as you've said, maybe that's what you was looking at and that's what Cartwright was doing to say, could this be the person to slot in if these guys aren't ready?
You say that, and I agree with that, probably was, but there's another one that we raised our eyebrows at with the selection. The fact that Lloyd Kemp was in the squad, in the 21-man squad, but yet he played Litton at fullback, who we've been seeing as a centre for the last few years. I was quite surprised at that. Like, Price was not risked, and you'd have thought naturally second choice down on the list is Lloyd Kemp, but he still played Litton at fullback, who had a good solid game, bagged himself an hat-trick, so good on him. But I was surprised. That was the selection. I was surprised at that selection.
Read into it what you want. I mean, he started Connor Bailey at 6 against Huddersfield, so...
Yeah, but now that was the first game of that first friendly of the season. This is the last game before the start of the season.
Yeah.
So
I think as well, in terms of our forwards, if you're asking me, just trying to put 2 and 2 together, you've got someone like Connor Bailey who does play second row, who has come through from a youth perspective in the halves. For me, if Asiata and Bellart fit, well, would you not put a ball handling forward in at 13?
Look, I'm not trying to move you on, but you can read so much into a game that was a 99.9% certainty of a win realistically.
Yeah.
And the game plans that coaches go through for things like putting Litton at fullback frees up space in the centre and wing to bring other players in,
Romano
which
was
means you
able
can
to
move
play at
people
centre.
around, and it also means that players can get match fitness, i.e. Litton, who's probably going to be in your starting 17 most weeks, he's still able to play, but not in his normal position, and he also gets to show a bit of versatility, and that's just one angle
you're
of that
looking at it
decision.
like that, which is
If you look at it strategically,
I was looking
it
at
might
it
not
as-
to be...
There's a couple of ways to look at it. You've looked at it a certain way. I've looked at it a way where, well, I thought he'd have played the next kid who's a recognised fullback on the list.
And we'll talk about in our section where I think we saw players in our game that I don't think we'll see this year unless we get injuries.
Yeah.
So there's different ways of doing it. So I don't want you to get lost in that, is what I'm saying.
Well, so just before we finish on the Salford game, you got to wish them luck. They're in a worse state on the field than I actually thought, because they just didn't look cohesive or anything like that on the pitch. But they're a brand new team. They're 3 weeks into a pre-season where we've had 3 months. Every other team's had 3 months. So I hope they bounce back. I hope they go well. Credit to the fan base. They turned out in numbers, and I believe they turned out in numbers for the Oldham game a couple of weeks ago. And before we skip this section, we had a nice little poster given to us on the seats, didn't we? From Ryan Brierley. Thank you for making the trip. Enjoy your night. Have a safe journey home. Regards, Ryan Brierley. It's not much, but it's something.
It's a really nice touch.
It's a nice touch, yeah. So fair play to them for that.
It was a bit of business as usual, wasn't it? This is from our number one fan who likes to troll, and every post he makes on our comments is that he finds me insufferable or whatever.
I find you insufferable.
I know. It was
Not just
nice,
on the pod.
It was nice that even in just a friendly, FC found time to sing about Rovers. And what was really nice about
wait there.
and this is what,
Salford started that.
this is what was confusing about it. What have we ever done to Salford?
Salford fans, because we was in the main stand, the up and the two stands in the ground. The Salford stand behind the sticks, what they know most of their vocal fans stand at. They all just started singing "Stand Up If You Wait OKR," and we was like, okay. And to be fair,
Who were we to pass up on the opportunity?
I'd read a comment on Reddit about it because I'd seen it come through, and I was like, I don't know how it started. Obviously, you've explained that. I was like, that's quite amusing. I was also, but Salford of all teams, like it definitely just screams a bit of like, look, let's show a bit of solidarity. Let's sing. Let's get the stadium booming with whatever
there was
fans
one
are there.
more thing, which we found absolutely hilarious. The full stadium laughed. There was a bit of biff and bags. All you heard over the tannoy was the boxing ding ding bell. we chuckled at that. Right, let's get on to the Bradford game because we're getting through our section. I've basically just got get the job done on Saturday. First game of the season. We're not having a drum.
What?
We're not having a drum.
No,
I don't
I've
wanna
written
talk-
it down.
I don't want to talk
You don't
about
want to
the
talk
drum,
about
no.
the fact that someone brought a drum that no one wanted.
And then he
Okay.
come and stood 3 seats from me, so I moved.
Yeah, okay.
I'd have took the drum and threw it.
I feel bad because it was a kid.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't care less.
Neither could I.
Drums and instruments don't belong at a rugby game. End of.
Moving on to Bradford.
Yeah, for me, it is just get that job done. Get that first 2 points on the board. It don't matter how it comes. Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to not just the game, like the event. We've heard a lot at the fans forum a couple of weeks ago about changing the way that they present the not just the game but the game day at the stadium. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with that because especially with it being an unreserved stadium, which I hate by the way. I just want my own seat. You have to get there as soon as the gates open to make sure you get your seat. And you end up, for the last however many years, we've ended up just sat there for an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, doing nothing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what changes on game day. But
Yeah,
main spectacle, obviously, is the game. And I'm just looking forward to having a
proper game
against the team that should be able to, fight back. Salford didn't have nothing.
There's always that buzz for the first game of the season, though, isn't there? You guys will have it in York on Thursday. We've got it on Saturday, and by all accounts, ticket sales have gone really, really well. They're expecting 16,000, 17,000 fans in the ground, which is
That's good.
It's great to see. I know they've done a ticket offer, so fair play to the club for that. But still, to get that amount of fans in the ground at a rugby league game is absolutely fantastic, and it shows to me that there is a bit of a buzz coming back, and it's not just the club who are feeling that buzz and us who go every week, but maybe the fans who maybe drifted away over the years. Yeah, a ticket
The
offer.
Glory fans.
ticket-
You always moan at us for having.
I don't. I'm up
Not
for
you.
any fan
Not you
coming into
necessarily,
any
but
fan
you know what I
watching
mean.
rugby league is better for rugby league. Hopefully, a good performance can keep them guys in as well.
I think that your game at the weekend is one of the more interesting ties of the opening week. It's got so many different storylines attached to it. Now, we always have the caveat that we don't know when a new season's going to start, people can be rusty. So just forgetting that for a second, but you guys have got something to prove. You've got this squad on paper and you've been building, something that we've praised Rovers for a long time, building over multiple years. So like, bad season, try and make the playoffs. And so that's what you're trying to do. Recruit well, but recruit through your academy as well. You're doing that. And then it's this thing of, are you actually going to be up there competing, and are you going to be what on paper could be a top 4 side, or what many people feel could be at least a top 4 to 5 side? But then you've got Bradford, who I think have recruited really shrewdly.
Out of the three, I believe they've recruited the best.
I watched their game at the weekend. They've got some people in there where I think they've got some great players that have been around the Super League level, and at times have shown that they can be playoff level Super League worthy. So it's not as if they've just got a load of championship players that have moved up. And what you're really looking for is, you could go out and storm them and have an absolute smasher and be like, you won't get too carried away because it's a newly promoted team, but also, we mean business this year. Or they could come out and give you a bit of a game and say, we aren't just going to roll over and be bottom of the league. There's so many different bits and bobs. I honestly think it's going to be one of the better ties of the weekend, hopefully.
I said it last week. I think I think Wakey, Hull and Rovers, I don't think it's going to be as easy. I think the scorelines at the end will be comfortable for all three, but I don't think it'll be...
Won't reflect the games.
Yeah, I don't think it'll reflect that. I think York are going to give you guys a real good...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe for 50, 60 minutes. And same Bradford with us, they might give us a good game. And Toulouse, especially with Wakey. But I think the main thing is going to be the longevity through the game. I don't think, based on my predictions, when at the end, people are going to be like, well, Jimmy said they're going to give him a good game, and then he's giving out these scorelines. I don't think the scorelines will reflect the games.
I think fitness will tell in the end.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fitness and experience at this level, because there is a couple, the players that Bradford have got, they've brought in some good experienced Super League players, but there's a reason why those players have now had to find themselves at a newly promoted team and they're not in a Rovers team or a Wigan
Points
team.
to prove, though.
Yeah, but that's what's going to be tough for the teams that are playing them. Everyone's going to have a point to prove. So.
Just before we get on to just a quick bit of news for Hull FC, we don't really know what the squad's going to be. I've not really heard much this week, and as of recording, the squad hasn't been released. I'm hoping Price, Asiata, Bell, Martin will all be back, but until that squad's released on Thursday afternoon, we don't know. Talking of one of them players though, we've got to mention him. New 5-year deal for Lewis Martin last week. Great to tie a young could be a superstar in the future. Don't want to put too much pressure on him, but the way he's going, he's flying at the minute. So long
I think the pressure bothers him.
It doesn't seem like
Doesn't look like it, does it?
So congratulations to him and well done to the club for tying him down for an extra 2 years, what was on his current contract. And we're expecting Harvey Barron to sign an extension imminently, I believe.
Yeah, it was Dan in Old Daily Mail pretty much wrote that it's more or less done. Just waiting for it to get announced. So
yeah, I think his deal ends in 2027. So yeah, we need to get that one tied up. And as was drawn last night, Lee away in the cup.
woo!
Sick of you getting the easy ties.
Oh yes,
Yeah, me
It's beyond a
too.
joke. Every season you get an easy tie in the cup. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wigan last season, Lee this season.
It's going to be interesting how Lee kick off this weekend, given that they have quite a bad sort of injury crisis in a way.
Yeah, I can't split the Lee and Leeds game.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that. So
That's
if they
their
can-
injuries swayed my prediction.
yeah, if they can't come out and make it work, I think one of the reports I read today, and quite a shrewd bit of journalism, was they're probably one key injury away from that squad crumbling. But I haven't looked into full detail. If they come out and can't get it going quickly, it might be a bit more favourable when we get to a Challenge Cup tie and you start thinking, well, actually, feel a bit more positive about this. Whereas if they come out like they did last year, despite some of these injuries they've got, that's a really tough fixture for you.
Yeah.
Bragging Rights is proudly sponsored by Comscaf. Hull's own Comscaf have been keeping things safe and steady for over 30 years, providing professional scaffolding services nationwide. If you need a team you can trust for your next project, big or small, head to comscaf.co.uk or give them a call on 01482 782 181.
On to us to talk about KR then.
Yeah, as soon as I had made it in my phone. Thanks for letting us in there, Josh.
I noticed you weren't looking, I was like, I'll pull you in.
Excuse
Should
me.
give us a verbal countdown. That'd help, wouldn't it?
You can't break the wall.
Can't break
It's not Chris Jericho. You can't break the walls.
wow.
Anyways, moving Josh like that one because I can see his little grin. He's gutted he didn't get in there.
Yeah, he did. He liked it. Don't even watch wrestling and he loved it.
Couldn't care. Anyways, on to our Friday night game then. I wasn't there, I was working unfortunately. Did have it on the wireless to be old.
Wireless.
Yeah, the wireless. Oh,
You actually listen to it on radio?
Yeah, it was on sound.
You didn't put it on your phone or anything like that?
I was at work.
And?
I'm not allowed my phone at work.
Are you not? Oh. That sucks.
No, not allowed for confidentiality. So, anyways, moving on to it, it was expected, maybe not 100 points up, but we did the job what we had to do. The task probably was from Peters, go out there, do what you got to do. As Dean said, bit of a glorified friendly, but get minutes in your legs. Squad selection, there was a couple of sort of ones where I was like, oh, that's interesting. I think I put it in the group and I was like, I'm quite surprised at that. And then I think might be yourself who said that he was quite happy with it.
Yeah, I was more than pleased. The players that were missing, barring injuries or recovering from surgeries or off-season niggles, was basically players that had played in the Ashes as well and we just didn't need the minutes, I suppose, is the game plan there. And players that did perform to a high level last year. So you're talking Mikey, Jez, Budgie, players that, we don't expect to need another run out. So obviously all time will tell with that, but it wasn't an issue. The players that, did come out, it's so hard to try and rate in a game like that. I mean, one of the conversations I was having during the game was like, how do you even pick a man of the match? It's so tough in a game like that. But we had, all of our people making the debut did score, which was nice. You had Harvey Horn, Jack Charles, Lawton, Whitehead came in, they all scored. I mean, Harvey Horn, he had a hat-trick. And
Charles got two as well.
Charles got a couple. And Horn's one of them players that, great to see, obviously, nephew of what I'd probably maybe call a bit of an FC legend, and then son of a very popular Rovers player in Graham Horn for us. It was great to see him get his chance on the wing. It was great to see him sort of show what he was about when he had a good game. He's the sort of player I alluded to earlier that I'm not sure we'll see much more of him this year. I think that, touchwood, we don't get it. Even if we have any injuries out on the wing, we've still got Kershaw to come back from his ACL injury, who was in there to be the backup. So it's hard to see where he would slot in. especially given that, you know, our next round draw in the Challenge Cup isn't an easy fixture by any chance. It's not as if we're going to be not putting... We've got Huddersfield for that, Jimmy, so it was good to see him come out, it was good to see him have a go, but overall, it actually wasn't pleasant viewing. And I didn't want to see what I saw last year when I went to go and watch Saints play against West Hull, where there was a bit of competitiveness to it, and you could see like a try come from West Hull, and you thought, yeah, this is great. It was completely one-sided. It was quite disappointing towards the end to see the local lane players get a little bit involved in the niggle a little bit and get a little bit nasty at times, because we didn't want to be involved in that. There was no need for it. Having said that, all you can really say is like full credit to Local Lane, to the supporters, to the club, and hopefully what, you know, saying in your section, you don't really like this fixture or this round of fixtures because of what it looks like on paper. Hopefully the financial side makes up for that, the support for these clubs, and it does help them carry on for years to come. But yeah, it wasn't fun.
No. We do have to just quickly touch on though the records. I think it'd be remiss of us if we didn't. Yes, you could probably put a little bit of an asterisk next to it, you know, against an amateur side, but the record books don't reflect that. They only reflect the opponent and who's got the record. So, and it was a competitive fixture, so yeah, you'd expect it. Reece Martin kicked a record. I think it was 15 goals. 16. 16. Sorry, I do apologise.
Kicked 16 out of 18.
Yeah, seen he'd missed a couple. Caught by the weather, by all accounts.
I have less sort of gripe, if you like, about this record than I do the other one, because they still needed kicking, and they still needed kicking from all over the park. Now, that is some of this different. Yes, it's helped that you score that many tries against a, not to rude, a lesser opponent, but it wasn't like every single try was under the sticks. Yeah. There was out wide ones that needed kicking. He still had to do his job. So, all right, the opportunity to kick that many was presented because of the fixture. However, they still needed kicking. So it's a worthy record, and 16 out of 18 is no, you know, it's no small feat. So I think that's a good record and well done to him.
Yeah,
slight asterisks, I would conclude.
Yeah, it's one of those, and he's done his job. At the end of the day, his job is to kick goals, and he's done it. Yeah. And you can't fault him for that. I think the last time I remember, sort of, not that many, obviously, because it's a record, but it was 13, I think, Damien Couturier, when we beat Halifax 88-6, and I didn't think I was ever going to see that again in my time supporting Rovers, like 10 plus conversions. Cause you think 10 tries, that's 60 points if you convert them all. So that's a massive winning margin.
Yep.
So obviously 104-0 record victory.
I didn't want us to get to 100.
No,
you didn't.
No.
What do we gain from it apart from a mark in a record book? For me, it was. And I think it'd give a little bit of credit to Loch Lane, no disrespect, if we didn't reach 100, because then obviously that's like showing that they had some fight in them to not want to make us get that 100, if that makes sense.
I think it's an advertisement to the gulf of the sport at different levels as well. When you look at, well, let's take your result for an example. It was yours 60-0 in the end against a championship club, albeit, let's just say, all the caveats for all the problems that they've had last season, year before, that we all know about. But still with players that have played at a Super League level in the team, or at least players that have played semi-professional or professional. This was a bunch of amateur players. And really, if we hadn't have got up to that sort of level, there might have been some questions about it, given the fact that we probably put 80% of a first team out there as well. So it reflects the game that it was, but it was just, it got to the point where it was a bit like, come on, can we call it here? Or like when you was kids and it was at half time, like, can two of your players come and play for hours, you know?
Yeah, I think last time was 100 points to 6. Last time we reached 100 points, and that was against Nottingham back in 1991, I think. Biggest winning margin was also 94, so obviously we've beat both of those, and I never want to see it be beat. So you don't want to see that sort of stuff in our game for me. I know I'm being negative about a massive win, and you know you could take so many positives from it: minutes in the tank, no injuries, etc., etc. But I think it'd be pointless to pick on all the positives, I think.
Like even some of the stuff that was really good, I mean, like, seeing some of the way some of the players came out, like, obviously it's great, players like Harvey Horn being young and seeing him have a go and get a hat-trick. Seeing Charles make some really good decisions and good passes and setting up tries, scoring tries, that was good to see his potential as a half-back for us. There was a couple like Jack Brown ran like a steam train, you know, it was good to see him do that. But again, little caveat, he's playing against amateurs, you know, and it made it hard. One of the ones that you could probably take away from it was I quite liked the way that Lawton turned up. It was good to see what he was able to offer us, what realistically is going to be a hooker for us going forward, it looks like. Maybe a loose man. I like the way he took the ball to the line. Seems to be a bit of his game plan that he likes to get rid of the ball late in the play and stuff like that. So we did take things from it. The other thing that from the game really that was quite nice was that was Willie Peters' 100th game in charge of Rovers. So that was like his milestone. It means our record now stands at 73 wins, 27 losses.
I was just going to ask what
0 draws.
What's his win? What was his win percentage?
You've got golden point, haven't you?
Difficult, yeah. I suppose.
Oh, you managed it.
Yeah, where we got robbed of a win.
Quite nice as well for percentages. It means he's at a 73%.
Easy to work out, innit?
Easy to work out,
Easy
yeah.
to do on that one. So yeah, really, there's not a lot to say. I'll just finish with the credit to Loch Lane. Fixtures done. We move on, and because you mentioned it, we mentioned it. We draw Huddersfield in the next round. It actually comes a week after we play them in the league.
Yeah.
So we're away to Huddersfield 2 weeks on the bounce.
That's grim.
What's that?
What an horrible
So you've
place to
got-
go.
Is Huddersfield your fixture after Vegas? The league game? You said you've got them 2 weeks on the bounce, so have you got...
No, because I think Hull wrongly reported
Yeah,
the
I think Hull
weekend
put on
of the Challenge Cup. Don't we play Saints when we come back, and then it's the weekend after that?
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I think so.
I could be wrong.
Sorry,
can't
I
check.
should
Unless
have
it is, and I've got the dates wrong. You might have to check. My dates are all.
I'm not sure which. I'm not sure if we have Huddersfield the weekend of like the 7th, so the first weekend in March, or whether it's St Helens.
That's right,
then
actually.
the other way
We'll
around.
find out
I'm
because
not
we'll
sure.
get slated for
Yeah.
getting it wrong. If we
I do think that's right. But the point with that is, can't really say too much on it until we see how Huddersfield go. I think that they was desperate and lucky last year with injuries. I think they have got a good squad around them.
I think they're going to surprise a couple of teams.
Bit of a
this
surprise
year.
package.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's so, on the one hand, you saw the draw and you go, all right, it's not the best draw ever, but it's not the worst. You didn't want a Wigan that early
or
on.
a Lee away.
Or even you guys,
I wanted to avoid Hull, and I wanted to avoid Leeds.
We were talking about it last night. I said, my perfect tie would be Goal away on a Sunday afternoon, jump on the train, couple of beers.
get pissed. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we
no,
don't get that
Yeah,
lucky.
you've got Leeds in Allegiant, and then you've got Huddersfield, and then you've got Huddersfield,
Yeah, I thought it
then
was.
Catalan, then Saints.
Yeah, in my head, as soon as we said, I was thinking, well, actually, it's because Saints is our first home game, and that's at the end of March, and we don't have a home game till the end of March, so I knew I must be wrong, but I'm glad we checked. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. This could be what actually scuppers us in terms of the fact that we discussed we could be tired. We've got a World Cup challenge to play. We've got to travel to Vegas. Then we're going to come back, and this could be a win in the league and a loss in the Challenge Cup when we crash out early. Could be, I'd rather take the loss in the league. I'd rather have 2 wins.
Yeah.
But I'd rather take the loss in the league and stay in the Challenge Cup. Who knows what's going to happen? We don't know what Huddersfield are going to look like. It's not the worst draw in the world. Watch Huddersfield be top of the league by the time we come to play them. You don't know, do you?
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I wanted to avoid Hull for obvious reasons, but the reason I wanted to avoid Leeds here, they've got a lot of injuries at the moment, is I've mentioned this a couple of times and people have gone, I've not actually thought of it like that. They're all bogey side at the minute. Now, that might not sound much. It might sound like a bit of a, just bear with me. Leeds, yeah. Growing up supporting Rovers, in the Championship, National League One, Northern Ford Premiership, whatever you want to call it, whenever you started going, we used to watch teams like Leeds, Bradford, St Helens, Wigan on the telly every week. And never in a million years did I think I would be saying Leeds were our bogey team.
They have been the last few years, though, haven't they? They seem to be able to just
They've just got our
edge it.
number.
I think you beat them late on at their place early on last season.
Yeah, but that was only one piece of magic. It wasn't
Yeah.
a sustained, brilliant performance. It was, it was...
They well beat us when they came to Craven Park, when we had, Mikey went off.
I don't know, we should have been 30-0 up by half-time.
But yeah, we didn't play. It is tough. Look, all time will tell. But let's have a quick preview on York. We obviously kick off the Super League on Thursday, and we should get some minutes into that. So excited, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy we're away. I love away games. And to start a season away, home games are just home games, aren't they? They're just there.
Do you know, that surprises me based on where you play and the atmosphere that you guys create in that stadium. Like, I can understand an old fan saying that. Like, I do hate home games because I think our stadium's not got a soul. But to hear that from a Rovers fan is quite surprising.
I think it's more the point of you go away, you're with the, I don't want to say the more loyal fans, but the more loyal fans, the ones who do travel away. You know, I go on the coach, you have a bit of a drink, you have a bit of a gossip with people, and then you're in the minority compared to most home fans. And for me, there's just something magical about that. Like, I love playing away.
Yeah, I think as well that, I don't know, for me,
Might want to reword that.
I'm not. It's
Sorry, Laura.
You obviously you see it in a different way to me. I do enjoy my away games. You do what I used to do when I haven't done for probably 5-10 years, which is have that solid group of the same people on the same bus from the same pub that you go with. You often end up standing together. I'm real hit and miss. Sometimes I drive, nearly always get speeding fines and points when I come back, so I make other people drive who then get points and fines. I sometimes get a train, I make a weekend or a couple of nights of it. I sometimes get the Rovers official buses, not very often I must admit. I sometimes tag onto buses that I ain't done for a while, like Apollo Pub, or, you know, I'm real hit and miss with it, depending. Sometimes I'll go from work, especially now because I'm on the M62 corridor. And it's just so, for me, I don't see it that same way, but I do quite like the fact that we're opening away. I think we shouldn't underestimate York.
Absolutely not.
I think that they've got, A, good team, and B, we shouldn't be complacent. I don't think we will. I trust in Peter so much. I trust in our team that we don't have complacent
It's going to
players
hurt
there.
so much when this trust finally comes back and bites us
Of course
in the
it will.
arse, innit?
At some point, Willie Peters' tenure with the club will end. It might end on a high, it might end on a low. That's just what happens in all sport, let alone rugby league. And we don't need to have one eye on the World Club Challenge. Now, what that means for me as well is that we've got a very good squad. We've announced today, very pleased with the squad. We only had 3 sort of potential misses from what would be the match day squad that we are probably going to announce week in, week out if touch wood we have no injuries. Those 3 people, one of them, let's talk first, was Sam Luckley. He was recovering from an off-season bit of a niggle from a knee. I'm not quite sure if there was any surgery involved, but he's been coming back from it. He's in the squad, so he should be in contention. We wouldn't put him in if he wasn't. That means that we only have 2 players now. And the 2 players that we don't have, that we can't play, are Amon, or Amone as you like to say, and Desiree. Now, Amone is 1 week out. He's looking to be back for the World Cup Challenge. His is a hand injury. I think it's shrewd to rest him. Hopefully he's back and he can be at his best for the World Cup Challenge. It'd be great to have him in. He will be a starting prop for us. We didn't sign him not to be. And then Desiree is a bit unlucky. He's come up with a hamstring injury that's got a bit of a mismatched timeline to it. He's looking at maybe 3 weeks now. We obviously haven't had much chance to see much of him in a Rovers shirt or do anything yet. I think it would have been prime for him to play a weekend against Loch Lane, get some minutes in. Not too dismayed that he's not there. You've got people like Brown that can step in. So we've got a full-strength squad. I expect to name a full-strength team. I do expect to go over there, do the basics, go out, get a good win. Is it going to be a big win? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He hasn't quite got the opening game of last season where we go to drop goal, golden point, 1 point win for me. But I do think it's got a close game written all over it, unless we carry on the form that we had at the end of last season and we play the way we did in the grand final. And if we do, I think, all right, big win maybe, or a reasonable, 10, 15 point win. Instead, I think it'll be a bit closer, but I'm confident we'll get the win, but I don't think it'll be a big win. We'd like to be wrong, but...
Yeah, obviously we'd love a big win, but 2 points on the board at this stage of the season is what matters. Look at last season, you alluded to it there, a 1 point win against Castleford where we was expected to win quite handsomely against a Castleford team who by all accounts were vastly struggling, and we didn't. We struggled, and we managed to get over the line. So it's not about how you perform in February; it's just about getting the points on the board for me. Obviously, York
Getting the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you
job
said,
done.
Dean. Yeah.
So I'm just looking through your squad here. You're saying you think Lawton will be your interchange 9?
Yes.
I just feel sorry for Leyland. I think
Fully fit, I do.
I just think Leyland's a cracking young hooker. And I just think
He is, but it's all part of that long-term building. So we know what Rovers did to achieve what we did last year in terms of we recruited outside of the club, but then put the money into the academy, and now we can attract players, not only to our academy, but players of a younger age to our team that will stick around. You've got to turn around to young players and say, are you willing to stick around and not be a first teamer, even though you might be a first choice or you might be a bench player at another team? And Leyland's had chances. And we're showing faith by committing to him. There's players that we haven't. Look at Reeby Doro. Bit of a fan favourite in some ways, not mine, but the fan favourite. Sorry, no, you don't feature our long-term plans, but for Leyland, you've got to start saying, well, actually, this is the plan. And I could be wrong. We might find out that our plan is that we are going to use Lawton as maybe more of an interchange as a a loose man interchange for Mini. Maybe he doesn't play as many minutes. Maybe he goes in second row. Maybe this year we can stick and have more of a rotating squad. We had a great comment last week who actually called us out a bit for saying we sort of brushed aside the fact that Rovers had their own injury troubles last year. Last week we sort of brushed it off and said, well, I think one of you guys said like how lucky he was with injuries.
That was me.
No, you said it. I said,
Yeah,
well, were you
I thought it
guys?
I think for a rugby team, for a Super League team,
Absolutely.
you wear at the lower end. I know there was a lot. I don't know the guy's name, but he did list a fair few. But in comparison to a couple of other teams,
But like the majority
of teams, like
But there's a bunch of aging first teamers in there that don't want the minutes that they had last year. And when we did go into a bit of a down patch before the grand final where it looked a bit dicey and our confidence going into the grand final felt a bit shot. You know, you've got players that are getting into the 30s that put the body on the line for a lot of games last year for barely any rest because we went for everything. So it's tough, but I think, yeah, let's see what team gets named, but it's a very strong squad.
it looks it.
Massive boost for York as well in the fact that Paul McShane didn't get a ban after his red card.
He was fuming about this.
I was, because he's had a red card for fighting, and for striking it's a bannable offence. Apparently not, unless he's not throwing any punches and the referee's maybe being a bit overzealous with the cards. I hadn't seen the incident, but massive boost for them that, you know, someone with his experience and his nous, it'll be massive for them. So yeah.
Let's just have a good game. See York turn up and be competitive. Hopefully we get the win. It's a massive 2 points this early on with everything we've got going on.
And there's one out of your 3 or 5.
Yeah, mate, great to have rugby back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bit of news from Josh then, yeah?
Yeah, little quick bit of news then. A sad one to start on news from around the rugby league world.
News from around.
And the sad thing is we don't have a jingle. I was hoping by now you'd have made me a jingle.
Just did one,
I just did one for you. I'm going to change it every week.
Yeah, okay. No, actual, genuine sad news to start. So, Halifax Panthers have been served a compulsory wind-up order by the courts in London. It comes in with immediate effect. Very similar to some of the stuff that Salford had going on last year. There is some details out there if you want to go and do your own research. What I will say on this is there's 2 things that matter to me on this. The first one is the RFL have committed to meet this week to discuss what can be taken in terms of next steps to support the club, what it means for the club going forward. And so I think that's important. And what I think is also equally important is I worry about rugby league. I worry about what we're doing. I worry about what we're doing combining the Championship and the Championship 1. I worry about the long term of the sport, especially at a level lower than Super League. And Halifax are a club that have got a 153-year existence. This
I've
club's
had so many memories at Halifax, like growing up as a Rovers fan. It's sad.
It's
Very,
a
very
team
sad.
that I would hate to see go, and that isn't any disrespect to Salford whatsoever and what they went through. But Halifax, to me, are one of the teams that, as a youngster starting to play rugby, was up there. Your first Rugby League Live game on PlayStation 2, Halifax Blue Sox in the Super League.
Yeah,
What a game
one of
that
the
was, by the
original
way.
Super League.
I said it to you last night when we saw the news. I was like, someone obviously someone now has to create a new company. The company Halifax RLFC Limited is no more. It's gone. Don't exist. Someone needs to create a new company. Probably needs to rebrand it to probably save money, because buying the Panthers logo and that might cost it might cost a few pennies. Might be similar to why Salford aren't the Red Devils anymore. Bring them back as the Blue Sox. Go back to that heritage. Just someone, not me because I'm skint, but someone needs to find a way to keep that team going, fulfil them fixtures, and
Can we put our 50 quid from the monthly cause to Halifax?
honestly, mate, next month I'd be in for it. Like, why
It's only
not?
50 quid. It might sound stupid, like it's only 50 quid, but that could be a lot to a team. That could be the electric for
me,
a couple of days.
This one out. So we've had Salford. I don't know what's going on at Oldham at the minute, but something's not right there. By all
Oldham,
accounts.
Featherstone, you go for
Featherstone.
Fev, and Halifax. Halifax has hit a little bit more for me for some reason. I like Halifax as a club. I have them memories early.
I think that's
when
'cause
we
we
was
don't
in
like
Super
Featherstone,
League early
that's
doors,
probably why.
going to Halifax.
Anyone.
But our first game at the stadium was.
But on saying that, I mean, I do joke then, does anyone like Fev? I still don't want to see him. It's same as Salford. I've got no love for Salford. But watching what their fans went through last year
Oh, God,
was
it's
awful. And watching that club disintegrate.
It's I'm going to move us on because I want to get a couple of points from news, and we're just conscious of time. We'll keep a close eye on what happens. We'll keep you updated if people do actually use us for the news and don't get it themselves. I will just throw my tinfoil hat on for the final bit on this. It's my belief, with so much rumours and talk around NRL investment, that this only plays into an eventual 16-league Super League to sort of match what you had in the NRL, or what NRL was until they expand, and then a 16-league team below that. And some of these teams will fall by the wayside, and we will see classic rugby league teams disappear from our sport. And that's what I can see long term. So that's one.
If that happens though, and I don't want to carry it on too long, that then feeds into the NRL way where Hull might adopt Fev, and Rovers might adopt whoever else as their feeder.
Long term, 15 years time, this might be the right thing that's happening, but it's sad to see right now, and we want to see Halifax sort this out. So let's wait and see.
These clubs are the foundation of rugby league.
I'm going to just rearrange quickly before I get onto a couple more ones. So this one, just a quick one in case people aren't aware, and it is good news for Super League off the back of some bad news there. Super League have landed a new broadcast deal this week, just in time for the new season, and this covers 2 areas specifically, and it covers France and the Pacific Islands. And you're thinking, why am I telling you this? It's not something that we'll see, but it is great for Rugby League and Super League overall. What it actually means is that now going forward for the 2026 season, that we actually now have the largest ever national and international audience and coverage of the sport.
That's what it's about.
It's about growing the game. And specifically what this means in France is that the Le Dépêché, which is the owner, the channel they've got is called the Rugby Rama. Hope I've said that right. What it actually means is they're going to show every Catalan, every Toulouse game every week. And then they're going to do a roundup show every week that shows the rest of the Super League.
Boots and all.
A bit like Boots and all. So it's going to get around Super League, get around France a bit more. And then the second one, which is a bit more interesting for me personally, is the international one for the Pacific Islands. NBC are going to start showing Super League in New Zealand and all the connected Pacific Islands. And that includes, some random ones like, I've got down here, what have I put? Hawaii.
What?
So Hawaii's covered in this because it's considered a Pacific island. So even though it covers your normal ones and your Cook Islands and your Fiji and so on, also covers Hawaii. So
Hawaii was part of Trumpistan.
But apparently, because it's got Pacific roots, and so NBC covers to that as a Pacific island. So spreading the game as well. So that is good news, isn't it?
That also pays into your theory about the 16-team NRL style league, because it's just about, at the moment, it's about broadening those horizons and expanding our reach, isn't it? So yeah, watch this space.
Yep, watch this space. Some news that came out today then. I've got 2 left, this one to get through.
I'm interested.
The Cronulla Sharks have managed to reel in a big one, haven't they? Got the big fish, haven't they?
Go on.
Well, they've announced the signing of Owen Trout from next year.
I'd seen an...
Please all go funny for the Trout pun as well.
Playing for Sharks, yeah.
2-year deal to the Sharks at the end of the 2026 season. And from what I understand, beat off not only some competitive offers from Leeds who want to keep him, but I was under the understanding that you guys were in the market for him as well, and a lot of conversation had gone down that way as well.
I wouldn't have been against that.
Trout was at Huddersfield, wasn't it? I believe we was trying to sign him when he left Huddersfield.
He went to League from Huddersfield, I think.
Lee got the deal done on that one. I haven't heard anything regarding him, us bidding for him, but...
Fair play to him. Forwards have long done better than backs, I think it's fair to say, or maybe in the modern era of rugby league down under. So all the best to him, and let's see how we get on. Shame to see what I felt was one of the best English forwards in the game last year go, but I'm never against a player testing himself in the best league in the world.
Look at Hodgson.
I'm down for it. I'm all for it. At the end of the day, like you say, it's the best league in the world, and if we want a strong, competitive England side, we need players that are playing at the top level.
Got to do what you got to do in the meantime, haven't you?
So final bit of news, just bear with me while I get this bit out and then discuss, I know for time, but it came out and said that the new Man of Steel way of working was announced and that there was going to be a 5-man panel. We didn't like it when we first discussed it last week, we said we have to wait and see. We then said ahead it was going to be a closely guarded secret who was going to be on the panel.
Classic RFL.
3 days later they've announced the panel, so, and I will get through this quickly. Your 5-man panel: Ellery Hanley, Joe Lydon, James Roby, Paul Schofield, Sam Tompkins. Now, my issue on this that I think everyone's going to talk about, the first one of people are going to talk about how much this is Lancashire based. Now, I will say, to be fair, of the 5 of them, only 3 of them are Lancashire born. Sam Tompkins was actually born near Milton Keynes.
You done.
And that family did move up, so, but he's got such history with Wigan, it did still count.
You're really clutching with that one.
And
You are
Ellery
clutchy.
Hanley is Leeds born, but obviously a bit of a Wigan legend. Now, I think I sent this to you guys. Well, he finished his career at Leeds, didn't he? When he came back from down
Played
under.
at Bradford as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. What I saw in this and what people aren't going to like about it is the fact that combined, them 5 players have 677 Wigan appearances and 812 Saints appearances. That compares to 535 combined appearances for all other clubs in the Super League. So it literally is like triple. And the problem you got is we can't win on this, and Super League can't win on this, because if Jai Field wins it, or a Wigan player or a Saints player wins it, it's yes, because it's Lancashire bias. If a Yorkshire player wins it, it'll be, well, they was desperate not to give it to a Lancashire player, and actually Jai Field or Bevan Friends. And to me, it's just, I think they should have kept it secret when they said they was going to.
Yep.
Now it just opens up so much rubbish, and yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. There you go, boys. It doesn't sound good to me.
Classic RFL. Just like you said, keep it quiet. I wasn't keen on the 5-man panel. I didn't like that idea. But just keep it secret. You've just opened yourself up a massive can of worms here.
I don't know what. I don't see what was wrong with the way it was getting done.
If there was going to keep it that way, it should have been, how many games a week? 7 games a week. It should have been the same 7 people going to games. So there was seven different people at 7 different games.
Fine. I'm not. Yeah, I'm
I
all
don't know
for
if that's
that.
how they did it anyway, but
No, I think they had one person reviewing each game. So, like,
One
Cookie,
person
for
actually.
example, might review one game, and then Skullthorpe might review another game. They didn't do it together. As far as I'm aware, I might be
I was
wrong.
on about the 7 people going to 7 different games.
Actually being at the
yeah,
games.
but it's the same 7 people all season long. But okay.
Before I finish, just say an interesting point on that. I think I read this comment online, so just be aware this comes from Reddit. Talking about this and people putting discussion in, somebody put a comment in saying that they had a story of speaking to Paul Skullthorpe back before the 2014 Challenge Cup, and that the panel from the previous year for the winners on the shortlist was Brough, Peacock and O'Loughlin. They was the 3 names that were up to win the Man of Steel, and that the mood was shifting towards giving it to Jamie Peacock. And a lot of people felt that Danny Brough was the most deserving winner. I think he did win it that year in the end, and he was a superstar. And it was actually Skullthorpe that stood up and really fought and argued for him, despite having ties to the other players more from Great Britain and from it being O'Loughlin at Wigan and so on, and being Lancashire based. And he actually, so let's just say with a pinch of salt here that these guys are professionals and they will do it with without bias and being impartial. We hope.
We hope.
But that was news from around the world this week.
Listeners Lounge. A few questions this week.
Woo!
Shall we start with Gary's first?
Gary.
Gary.
The one that we're interested in, the main question, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not
I
allowed
knew
to
that
ask
was
it though,
coming.
because he got called out on it, didn't he?
Nah, I don't.
Is it a food question?
Yeah.
We'll ask the rugby-related question first. And just to
you
reply,
spoiled sport.
I know, just to reply to that guy who did call us out on us, it's just a bit of fun. Gary's done it all last year, and it's just a bit of fun for us.
Yeah, and if you don't like us getting questions about food and movies from Gary, send a rugby one in yourself.
I would say as well that for listeners, rugby league isn't the richest sport in the world. So if we branch out a bit, we might get more sponsors. And so if Cadbury come in,
Can we get sponsored by Chip Spice?
Chip Spice. Right, so from Gary, what is the best shirt this year in Super League?
Oh God.
I've
answered
Have
it.
you got it? Yeah, I've got one. I've Saints at home. Saints home kit.
Um,
With a shout out to Bradford's home kit.
Oh, exactly the same. I think Bradford's home kit, old school, brings back good memories. The colour's old school. The white, the colours on it looks fantastic. I watched them at weekend, great. Then when I put a bit more on, I thought, actually, we all said this at the time. I think maybe I'm wrong to say this across the panel here. But the Saints new home kit, barring the sponsor, the retro one, sexy as fuck.
Yep.
It's really cool. It's really nice. For me, they're the top 2 in the league this year.
I think they might have set a trend for the next few years for other teams to follow as well. I think we might see a few more retro first team shirts. I know the teams do them as like one-offs or little bit extras in the shops, but I think we might see these as plain shirts in the coming years.
I think so. And I know people get sick of hearing my voice on here, but these two don't do the research and don't prep, so then they're on bloody...
I've been asleep.
They're
Yeah,
on bloody DuckDuckGo trying to get their answers.
I don't need to. I know what mine is. I'm just having a look at the Bradford one.
I nearly sent you a link earlier a couple of websites, including my favourite rugby league one, had done a great one where you could view every single kit, and I thought, no.
That's where I checked all my shirts.
That Bradford one is a nice shirt.
I think Lee's home shirt is a winner.
Who, sorry?
Lee. Their home shirt.
I hate Lee's kits.
No, I'm not a fan of it.
I quite like Wakefield's. Wakefield's is quite smart. Can't stand Warrington's.
Wakey's away. I think it's Wakey's away one. I like that one. But all out, my favourite is our pink shirt.
Oh,
hands down. And it made it even better because I didn't realise that the shorts and socks were pink as well. And I rocked up at Salford and saw them warming up. I was like, it's like Jesus has presented me with a kit.
It's horrible.
It's amazing. I love it.
I walked into the stand and then the players were out warming up and they had some of them had the training t-shirts on, but some of them was in full kit. And I was like, that is fucking disgusting in person. Absolutely disgusting. He was like, oh, I love that shirt.
It's class. My favourite colour.
And then his little... We've got to crack on.
Oh, sorry, I like our fair choice one, the 100 Years of Red Robin one. That is a nice shirt, but that's just a personal point of view. I actually like Wigan's home shirt with the sort of... It's got a slash there, and then it's got the like bands with the black band there. A nod to a couple of years ago, and I really like that shirt. So for me, it's probably Wigan's.
Fair enough. And then Gary's little fun question. What is the best bit about a roast dinner?
Yorkshire pudding.
What bit about roast
Yorkshire
dinner
pudding for
is
me.
best?
Yorkshire pudding.
When
Love
Laura
Yorkshire
walks
pudding.
up and goes, there you go.
Yeah, we'll go with that one then.
Wow. You're getting dumped after this, mate. That's two.
I
I can't decide.
I like my roasties.
I just think Yorkshire pudding's
pigs
like
in blanket.
the most consistent thing. Like, you go and get a roast dinner, whether you're having carver or whatever, and you're picking the meat might be off, or maybe the veg hasn't been done as good, or maybe you prefer mash or you prefer roasties. But with Yorkshire pudding, you just know where you're at, don't you?
Yeah, fair enough. I'll add to that. What meat?
Chicken.
Gammon or chicken, yeah.
Gammon. Yeah, gammon second.
Down a bit, left bit, lamb.
I don't like lamb. Unless it's in a kebab.
I'm allergic, so...
And
Right then.
For me,
Yeah,
I
so's
seem to
my
have
dad
twice.
and my brother, don't worry about it. We've got allergies to lamb.
Parsnips or sprouts, I can't decide.
Parsnips.
The best bit?
Yep.
Sprouts are disgusting.
Sprouts are unreal.
You stopped me
He's getting
moving on.
so mad that we are
You
moving
stopped
on.
me moving on to say
Yeah.
sprouts. Oh,
Absolutely.
Get out. Right, another question. This was a question that I was talking to a pal about during the week at work, so I thought I'll ask it. He asked me it. If still able to play, would you guys still be playing rugby? I know you do at some sort of level. And what do you miss most about playing?
So I'll start off then, because you've just alluded to the fact that I have gone back to playing. Admittedly, it's the other code. I won't go too much into it because I might get called out.
The union guy.
I thought it was about Aussie rules.
The thing I miss most about it was the contact. You hate it while you're doing it. Hear me out. You hate it while it's happening, but when you stop playing, or when I stopped playing, I might just be whopped in the head. But it's that physical side of things, the contact, the collisions. That for me was a bit.
Rolling around in the mud with other men.
That as well, and the showers afterwards. They're pretty impressive.
Oh, I've got showers though.
Shock.
I'm not too dissimilar to what you've said, Craig. I did have we've alluded to it before, but I did have quite a serious knee injury, and that was career-ending, amateur career.
I just want to say, you are starting to mention this just as much as he is about this disability.
Well, what I'm going to do is I've started setting alarms to take my painkillers on the pod, so it goes off to remind people. But after that, I went on. I've played sports since. I've played American football, and I ran a marathon, so I have got back into doing stuff.
Their hobbies, not sports.
Yeah, fair play. The 18 months ago, it was, we played the charity game. When I say we, I did. You boys didn't bother. And being back out was fantastic. Being out, and I always loved the contact. I always preferred tackling than running. Even when I was younger and faster and could score tries, and for me, it was more about being the defensive line. On that, even though it was great being back with the lads, doing a bit of training and the camaraderie and being with your mates again, obviously it wasn't the same as when you was there week in, week out, and we all used to be together all the time, but it was actually sort of a couple of days later, waking up on the Monday morning, I was still like limping a bit. I was still aching a bit.
I feel like you've done something.
Some bruises had come out a bit more. You know, there was some cuts and that on the face that a few people at work were like, "What you been up to?" And it just kind of came back into like that little, give yourself a little ride grin, remembering the try you scored or the big hit. And you know, I seriously considered going back, despite the fact that it looked like I was running in treacle, as someone quoted after that charity game. So, but I do. It's the two things. It is that pain. It is actually a good pain, and it's that missing of the camaraderie with the boys.
Yeah. Both points, definitely. The crack with the lads, like going for a beer after the game and just going training twice a week, meeting up with the lads a couple of times a week. Yeah, you're training, but you're still in that group. You're still together having a laugh with your mates and prepping for a game. And I was always someone who got really nervous before every game, but I learned to deal with that and take it. Earlier on when I used to play it, I didn't cope with it well, but the older I got, I started to cope with that and turn that nervous energy into positive energy.
I still do. Till I took that first carry or made that first tackle, I still have nerves when the ball's about to be kicked off.
I wish I'd have learned earlier to deal with that from a personal point of view. But from a selfish point of view, what do I miss? I miss them wet games where...
The shout-outs of a shower again.
Them games where it's raining outside, and from selfish point, scoring them tries where you could just slide over the line, just bag yourself 4 points. But yeah, if I could, don't know if I still would because of the job I had, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't carry on as long as I did, because self-employed, if I got injured, I'm done. I don't earn. But I do miss it. I really do miss it, yeah. And nearly everything about it.
I can't add any more. Like 100%, if I could play again, I would. You know, I mentioned at the end of last season about getting selected to play Masters Rugby at the World Cup. That's now gone to shit because I'm having surgery again. But
hey, you won't mention it.
I haven't mentioned that yet, actually.
On the pod.
On the pod. No, and because I need to let people know now that he's mentioned marathon that I'm not running the marathon this year either because I'm having surgery 10 days before that.
Oh, that's no excuse. Lindsay Vonn ruptured her ACL and still skied downhill.
But I'm running it the year after, hopefully. But yeah, like, obviously, if someone said to me now, Jim, do you want to come play rugby? And I was fit enough to do it, 100%. But for me, it's sort of all about the contact because I hate getting tackled. It's all about
You
scoring.
never had to Zoo pass, so you didn't need to worry about that.
It's all about getting
I never passed it.
tries. It's all about scoring or assisting. I got one assist, I think. I like that. That was nice. But
come off his head.
The main thing is the camaraderie. The main thing is going training, going in a pub afterwards. Obviously, real professional and getting pissed
Classic
after training.
amateur
You know,
stuff.
it was the best memories. Some of the best memories I've got of playing rugby in this city is going training, off to Billet afterwards to watch a bit of rugby, and then off to Macklin's mum's to watch Family Guy and have a pizza. Do you know what I mean? It's that side of it.
And we went to Chippy when we was at the pub as well. We walked across to Chippy and then got takeaway 2 hours later. Yeah.
We could do it back then, though.
Yeah.
I think
it wasn't just Family Guy, it was Celebrity Juice as well.
I've said to you guys before, we've discussed it here, and I've said to people that I've spoke to, quite a few, and they've asked about the pod and that. And so how do you get into it, what happened? And, you know, sometimes when I'm maybe not feeling like I want to carry on doing this or whatever. And one of the things is that one of the things I lost when we stopped playing was people to talk about rugby with. Like, and don't get me wrong, people that we played with wasn't bothered about watching rugby, not as much as we are. There wasn't noses like we was mad into it. But there was still someone to, and for a while I lost that in touch, and we now get to do that.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we're missing.
Like, our main group of friends, we all met each other at Lambworth.
Yeah.
But as a group of friends, like collectively, as the wider group, whenever like we're at someone's house, we never talk about rugby.
It's just about being
might have the
with...
football on. No, but I know, to what Josh is saying, though, I missed that being able to talk about rugby. Obviously, I'd talk to him about rugby, but...
We're meeting on Friday night to watch rugby with a bunch of the old lads that we still hang around with.
I'm not.
And you're not there.
No, I'm going to Chelsea.
The conversation around rugby will be minor compared to everyone else because everyone's grown up, everyone's adults, everyone's catching up, everyone's asking how kids are and how family are and how your work is. Whereas when you still play rugby,
Asking how kids and wives, that's why you're not going.
That's why I'm not.
let's move on because you've got a last good question, haven't you?
We can't. We haven't got the time to do
We'll
it.
have to squeeze it in
this,
next week.
This question, I want to spend some time on it because it's something that means
A lot.
I've really thought about an answer and I've put a lot of thought and effort into it. So we're going to save that one for next week.
Yeah, who's your favourite child? I thought it was a bit of a brave one.
It's tough. So we're going straight on to Craig's time to shine.
We are. So we'll just do a quick run through then. First game opening up the Super League season.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Predictions League. Because we've got over 100 people in it now. We've told you last week about the prizes, tickets 2027 grand final, chance to come on the pod, voucher from Tribal to come and have.
Just before, people have asked why it's 2027 grand final. Predictions League includes the 2026 grand final, so we can't give the prize out before this year's grand final.
Yeah.
So that's why it's 2027.
So I'm just reminding people, it's fantastic. We've got over 100 people in there. Get ad in. I'll approve everyone that adds. I've been approving every day when I see them come through. We start on Thursday night. Let's get in, get people in. The more the merrier. We like to mention it on here. So thanks to everyone that's joined. Keep them coming. Let's go from there. Craig.
I'd like to get some fans from other clubs. We've got a couple of Leeds fans and a neutral like Switzerland, but I'd like to see other.
Does it actually just say
Yeah,
neutral?
it says
It
neutral.
says something like neutral.
Yeah, where it says
a bit
what
like
team
Switzerland
is
or
it?
something like that.
No, he wouldn't have the commitment to care about it that much.
So yeah, I'd like to get some fans from other clubs involved as well, if we can. So if you know anybody who supports a different side to either Rovers or even Leeds, because we've got a couple of those, then spread the word. So yeah, Thursday night then, over at, there's the Kit Kat Crescent then, that's a football ground, isn't it? York Communities. LNER, is it?
Yeah.
LNER. York versus Rovers to open up the season. I've got Rovers by 10.
KR bar 14.
Rovers by 20.
Rovers by 24.
And Susan has Rovers also by 24.
By 24 as well?
Yep. Over to France then, Catalans versus Huddersfield. I've gone for Catalan by 14.
Catalan by 8, only because they're at home.
Catalan by 11.
Oh, he's gone early.
Well,
Catalan
the rest of them are all odd numbers, by the way, so yeah.
Catalan by 12.
And Susan's got Catalans by 16. Levy Leeds, I'm struggling with this one because of the injuries and I just don't know which way it's going to go. Both teams are absolutely ravaged at the moment. I think I'll go with Lee by 4.
Yeah, I think it's the toughest one to call really this week. I've gone Lee by 6.
I've gone Leeds by 5.
I'm going Lee by 8.
Am I the odd one out then?
Yeah, you are, yeah. It's opening up already, innit?
Susan gone for?
Lee by 6. Over to, not Wilderspool, Holywell Jones. Warrington versus St Helens. St Helens by 8.
I nearly changed this with the injury to Matty Lees, but I'm going to stick with Saints by 10.
I'd already locked mine in on the app, so I couldn't change it. I've gone Saints by 3. But I think the injury, I might have gone wire.
Can't now.
I know.
I've gone Saints by 13.
We're by 13. And Susan's gone for St Helens by 6. Over to the MKM, FC versus Bradford. I've got FC by 14.
I've got FC by 14.
I've got FC by 13.
I've got FC by 20.
And Susan has FC by 16. Wakefield versus Toulouse. Wakefield by 10.
Wakey by 12.
Wakey by 19.
Wakey by 28.
Jesus.
Ooh, you have gone big.
And Susan's got Wakefield by 14. Final tie of the round then. Over at the Jungle, Weldon Road, Castleford versus Wigan. Wigan by 22.
Wigan by 18.
Wigan 17.
Wigan 26.
And Susan has Wigan by 18. And that rounds up the opening round in the Super Brew Predictions League.
It does.
So yeah,
It's quite fun, that.
it was quite smooth. I enjoyed that.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Honestly.
I really can't wait. I'm proper excited it's back. up until about 2 weeks ago, before we started this first episode, the first episode on this, I'd distanced, not deliberately, but just distanced myself a little bit from rugby league, and I just can't wait, and I've proper got the buzz back.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Thursday. It's unreal.
I'd got through with what was quite a successful sort of winter period for Hull City, and now it's coming back, and I'm like, yeah, sod the football.
Plus City have just gone a little wobbled a bit, haven't they, as well?
We're going to get smashed on Friday by Chelsea.
Perfectly timed.
Come Thursday night, though, if Rovers can get off to a good start, and then immediately on Sky Sports following, you've got the first 2 episodes of the Hull KR, what's it called? Renaissance documentary series. That could be some sore heads and a lot of beers on Thursday night for Rovers fans.
I think even if you're not a Rovers fan, I think it's a must-watch.
You put on it won't be good viewing for your FC fans. Words along them lines when you put it in the group. I'm actually looking forward to watching it because hopefully I haven't seen any previews of it, but do you get some sort of insight into behind the scenes and things like that?
Yeah, I
love that type of stuff. And yeah, maybe I won't enjoy seeing you guys lift the trophy at the end of the documentary.
If you want.
My comment was probably a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and it was probably also more aimed at probably the worst kind of people, which is your social media, your loud social media users, which is kind of those who
Type
can't...
of people that comment on YouTube.
Yes, who can't stomach anything.
The sporting documentary.
Who can't be impartial.
I love them. I do love them.
You know, the type of people now that can't give any sort of credit to Rovers, who their only thing online is to be like, well, they didn't actually win anything, or they didn't do anything. You're people that can't see the real stuff, whereas I'd watch
2025 didn't count, so whatever.
Them type of people, and that's why people like you won't enjoy it. But don't forget, obviously, you're Challenge Cup winners this year, so...
You're pointing at him or me?
Me, because I had a little sly dig, so...
You're mad for a sly dig.
For me, it's...
I hadn't had one yet, so I had to get... Yeah, it's
for me, it's not even... Obviously, it's about Rovers getting the story out there, and it'll be great for everybody to see how we did it. Other clubs, such as teams like York, you know, away, maybe not so much a Wakefield because they're sort of doing their own bits and bobs anyway, but teams like those, maybe even a Huddersfield, who can take something from this documentary and build on that, and then that's just going to strengthen the game down the line. So
what I'm hoping for the most from it is that it's successful, it gets the views that it needs, and it drives more eyes onto rugby league.
Spreads the word.
But it also drives, on a selfish note, more sporting documentaries around rugby league. I love them. Especially like behind the scenes. I watch a lot of rugby union ones because they're great on YouTube. Let's get more. Let's almost get out like they're doing the NFL, a Hard Knocks series. So next year we get behind the scenes of Castleford, and then the year after we get an FC one, and so on.
So we've had a little Wigan one, haven't we?
We have the NFL one, quarterback, where it follows the lives of 3 or 4 quarterbacks. I'd love that. Follows the lives of 3 or 4 halfbacks in the Super League.
I'll watch an halfback going to get his hair cut after training. If that's recorded and he's talking to the camera,
well, he's obviously not playing amateur for long, because they'll go and get chippy and then beers.
Just another one, well worth a watch, I think, Rivals. Sent you a link to it the other day, where it's the Rugby League, the Rugby Union and the Aussie AFL. Rules members from each going against each other. I think that would be worth a watch. If you've not heard about that, Google that one. That one should be quite fun. But that's it. We ain't got any more time. Thanks again to Comscaf for sponsoring. Thanks again to Tribal
for nurturing and watering us.
Nurturing, watering, letting us DOS, whatever you want to call it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll put some little thing in the corner at some point that says never miss an episode. Click on that. And hype on YouTube as well if you can. But that's
share an episode with a mate.
Share an episode with a friend.
And before you watch any of them documentaries, watch this.
It's a bit late to say
it says
that.
right at the end of our podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you bye.
See you bye.
See you bye.
See you bye.